All right, let's talk about Aidan O'Connell, who is now the backup of the Raiders. Minshew was named the starter, and so I figured, why not? I made a film study on Aidan O'Connell's first preseason game. Then after his second preseason game is when he was announced as the backup, so I wanted to go back, watch the tape, and see why exactly did he end up getting considered a backup instead of a starter. Because I don't think he was terrible. I don't think he's a bad backup by any means, and I think that if things don't work out with Minshew, there are worse starters to have if your starting quarterback doesn't work out than Aidan O'Connell. But let's get into the film, talk about how he played particularly against the Dallas Cowboys and maybe why this ended up with him not being a starting quarterback anymore, at least for now. Because there was some good stuff, like I mentioned, something like this. It's a zone coverage concept. You have multiple players running routes that could get into a gap in coverage, but really that second route, I guess the one closest towards the bottom of the screen, is the one to look at, as the first route can kind of take the middle linebacker more towards the top of the screen, create a bit of a window. O'Connell is going to take the snap. He looks in that direction, and you see there is a window, right? You have kind of in between the two linebackers, a little bit of a window to try and make this throw. And for O'Connell, it's really going to come down to timing. Can he put this one, not necessarily in the perfect spot, although of course accuracy always matters, but to put this one when you want to put it. That's going to be the key thing here. And I would say Aidan O'Connell does a pretty good job on this one. He is able to time that pretty well, and they are able to pick up a decent completion there. To me, that's good stuff. I mean, again, it's nothing crazy, but you have to be able to do these kind of things to work at the NFL level, and he can do these things. Like this one's another one in a pretty big spot. I mean, again, it's a game that doesn't matter, but this is a big play in the game that doesn't matter. It's a 4th down and 2 situation. The Cowboys are in man coverage, and it's going to be a slant route over the middle that O'Connell is going to look towards. Okay, well, simple enough. Again, these are good routes. They can get open quickly, which is what you need on a 4th and 2. O'Connell takes a snap, he looks over, and there's a window. This is open quickly. He has to get it there in a hurry, though, because there is a linebacker who has dropped back in the coverage right over the middle of the field. So if you hold on to this for just a split second, it could be a disaster. But if you look at O'Connell, he's already in the throwing motion. He gets the ball over there, and they're able to pick up a first down. So again, some good stuff here. Although, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like all we saw from Aidan O'Connell was good stuff. There definitely were some plays that were less than ideal. And I think when watching this tape, you can see why they went with Minshew. Some stuff was just a bit more wonky. Some stuff like this, where the way this play is designed to work is it's a zone coverage play. It's, again, the timing type of play, similar to the one I showed you at the beginning of this video. It's zone coverage, and you see the receiver that O'Connell is going to look towards, going to try and get into a gap in coverage. Okay, well, let's see what happens. O'Connell takes the snap, he looks in that direction, he fires in that direction, and you see right here, this is open. I mean, this is one where you want to just you have to get this completion, really. Like, these are just, I said in the first play, those are the ones you want to get. These are the ones you have to get. I mean, if you're missing these, you're just not going to survive too much in the NFL, at the NFL level. And you see, this is a weird play. It almost looks like it went through the receiver's hands, but it was a bit high as well. So it looked like, kind of both of them, it's their fault. I'm not sure exactly who you put the blame on. I certainly think that O'Connell's going to say, man, you couldn't have helped me out and make that grab. At the same time, though, there's no denying that was higher than he was trying to get it, and I think it was later than he was trying to get it there as well. The timing felt a little bit odd, the accuracy felt a little bit odd, and it still should have been a catch. No big deal in isolation, but there were some other issues. Like this one, for example, it's going to be a zone coverage play that the Cowboys are in. So on this 3rd down and 2, they have a receiver running a route, just trying to get past the first down marker. Again, simple enough, right? Well, when this play begins, you're going to see that O'Connell's, again, kind of doing the right thing. He's going to be getting rid of the ball in a hurry. You see he's getting rid of the ball right when the receiver is cutting right here. But again, this is just a bit odd, where it almost feels like the receiver let up a little bit. The throw is way further towards the sideline. It's like, I watch these plays, and I think you could honestly say potentially neither of these are O'Connell's fault. Like, maybe the first play was just the receiver didn't make the catch. This one, the receiver might have ran the wrong route. Like, both are possibilities, but at the same time, if these things are happening when you're the quarterback, that is going to still reflect poorly on the quarterback at the end of the day. Like, yes, it's fair to say you can only control so much. Your teammates can make mistakes. What are you going to do? But at the same time, if your teammates make more mistakes when you're out there than they did when Gardner Minshew was out there, well, then, at a certain point, you kind of have to point the finger towards O'Connell. And of course, it's worth mentioning, I have to kind of guess who ran the wrong route, or was it O'Connell? The coaching staff knows whose fault it is, and given that O'Connell isn't the starter anymore, could maybe be a tell that perhaps some of these weren't just receivers running wrong routes. And also something like this, where the way this is going to work is it is a one-on-one matchup on the outside. It's man coverage with a single safety deep. You see the route. Okay, again, simple enough. Go route one-on-one. Let's see what happens. O'Connell is going to take the snap. He is going to look in that direction and fire in that direction. And, for one thing, you saw a lot of air under that ball, right? Like, if the safety was cheating over there even a little bit, he probably would have an interception on this one. But luckily, that did not happen. There is a potential chance for this to be caught. However, this throw is just over the receiver's head, so it wasn't even a really very accurate throw, despite the large amount of air he put under it. So, yeah, there were just a lot of kind of wonky plays like this. Maybe not necessarily just like awful misses, but just wonky plays. So yeah, for O'Connell, again, it wasn't a awful performance by any means. There were some positives, I think. I do think that he had, a decent number of solid throws in this one. I just think it was less consistent. And I think with O'Connell, another issue is he's just not really giving you a lot of extra, right? Like with Gardner Minshew, and I kind of talked about this when I made my Gardner Minshew video, he gives you some other stuff. He is someone who is mobile. He can get the ball down the field, that kind of thing. For O'Connell, it does seem like he is just a game manager. And, again, that gets used as an insult. There's plenty of value in being a game manager, but there also is plenty of value in being a playmaker, which I just don't know if we've seen much of from O'Connell. And I don't think the game manager stuff is elite either. So I think, honestly, I probably agree with the call to go with Gardner Minshew. Again, the performance this game was a little bit underwhelming. I don't think this was his best performance. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. But it wasn't a disaster either. I just think that Minshew, to me, has probably shown more. And let's just be honest, Minshew has a resume, right? He has, had some real flashes of greatness. Usually he doesn't stay that good for very long. But, even last year when he started for the Colts, he nearly was the starting quarterback for a playoff team, right? They were right there. So I think that with the resume, it makes sense to go with Minshew. But a lot of worse backups in the league than Aidan O'Connell, I think. But those are my thoughts. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.